So, I want to make this video. I sort of touched on this topic in an earlier video I made today where I talked about this Reddit post where somebody was talking about maybe an incoming correction happening. But I thought I'd make a separate video and just have one of my discussions here and talk about this supposed correction crash that's coming here soon based on the recent data we've seen in the past few weeks, maybe a month, on what's been going on with the market. So, especially in the past week though, I've been seeing more videos, more people talking about this crash because what's been going on in the market. It hasn't been skyrocketing. Now there's been some pockets of things going up, but generally speaking, Sun and Moon, Sword and Shield, Scarlet and Violet, not much has been going on. That's just fact. If you look at a lot of these, booster boxes, a lot of these specialty sets in the past month or so, like you look at, especially the past few weeks, things really haven't been going up. And that's why some people are already saying this is the sign of, incoming correction or crash. And this is what I wanted to talk about here. I think too many people are too used to seeing 20, 30% gains every single few weeks. I think people got too used to that. So now that we're in a period where things aren't going up at that rate, people think there's something wrong. Now, I think we're in a weird period in this market where things are starting to, not, slow down to the point of, okay, like, yeah, everything now is like, crashing, because obviously it's not, everything's been more stagnant. But I think we're at a weird point now where things have gone up to the price point where seeing 20 or 30% gains like we were seeing for some of these products like every other week, we're kind of at that point where things are expensive where I don't think we're going to be seeing that. At least for the next month. I wouldn't be surprised. Because you realistically got to think about these price points we're seeing here with a lot of these, products. Pretty much everything besides Scarlet and Violet base and I guess Journey Together, all booster boxes are basically $300 in Scarlet and Violet. We have new releases, Mega Evolution at $300. We get specialty sets, 151 ETBs at $400. Paladin Fates I think is still at $300. Prismatic is at $140. You got to realistically think about here, okay, we just ran up, so much in the past, I guess besides the past month, like maybe in the past 6 months. Things have ran up, crazy amounts in that time frame. And I feel like we're kind of at that point. If you, had a graph here and things were going up, right? Going up to the right. We're sort of at that point where it's gone up to the right and now things are going to go flat. I think we're sort of at that point where we sort of hit a short-term top, where a lot of the prices have run up to a point where for things that went up to, 250, 300 in a short period of time, things that went up to even, low 200s to $300 now, like Paradox Rift, we're just seeing some pullback now. And I feel like that it's really just as simple as that, where things did run up to a certain point across the market where this slowdown is sort of happening right now where prices aren't going, higher because they've already went higher and things are starting to pull back. People are listing more and just generally there just isn't that much room as of right now for things to run up because they've run up so much. And I think people have this, sort of obscured view of a bull market, or I guess thought of a bull market where everything always needs to be going up. We have seen times of stagnation in this bull market that's been here for like the past year. We have seen points where things really weren't moving like crazy, but we've also had a lot of periods where things were moving crazy. And I think whenever we get to some points where things start to slow down, people always call for this incoming crash. I mean, this has literally been talked about and said so much within this bull market. I've kind of gotten numb to people saying it, where people think, oh, this incoming crash is happening anytime there's like a single week or any period where things aren't skyrocketing. Like, that's how delusional the market is right now, where people are thinking a crash is coming, a correction is coming, just because we don't see large percentage gains. But I think people need to realize that there's going to be points in bull markets where we see these sort of things where things go down, right? Or when things see a slight, maybe 10, 20% dip from a run up, because there's literally times when we have, huge, buyouts and then prices drop $10, $15 and then market stays stagnant, like we've seen with like, Sword and Shield booster boxes. And even like, for example, on the right here, Destin Rivals, we saw like a buyout happening happen. And then shortly after, price started to slowly dip. And I know recently there was that Pokemon Center drop. I didn't mention it. I recently made a video talking about that. I know some of you guys probably like, why didn't you mention it? It didn't happen at the time when I made that video, when I recorded it, and I wasn't aware of it, so I didn't mention it. But I think the big problem is the people's expectations in this market is that everything needs to go up at extreme rates or there's something wrong. I really feel like we had that period of, okay, these booster boxes that were low 200s, okay, for them to go to 250, 300, like that doesn't seem super unreasonable. But for now, for many of the booster boxes at $300, to go now to $400, $500, $600, like to see those same sort of percentage gains we saw when they were at 200, I think is crazy. You're gonna have points where things start to calm down a little bit, and demand maybe slows down a little bit. People list, there's more supply in the market, but then eventually you'll have another wave of demand, and I feel like that is gonna be here sometime soon. I really truly feel like towards the holidays we're gonna see another run up. Especially, I've been talking about this with Sword and Shield. I really feel like even though the market's been stagnant for some months now, I really feel like we're gonna have a run up. But just generally speaking, I feel like so many people look at a few things in this market, a few things slowing down, some stats seeing some stagnation, and they're already calling for this crash or correction. I would agree more, and I will definitely, because there's going to be a time, guys, where I make a video where I'm very serious, where a crash is coming. I will make a video when that happens, or when I'm not crash, but when a correction is coming, when things are slowing down. I will make that video, but you can't tell me right now that we are even near a crash or a correction. I mean, look at Mega Evolution. I would agree more if Mega Evolution came out and it released at like $300. If today that booster box was in the low 200s, I could agree more that maybe this is the start. We're seeing stagnation across the board. The newest set, Mega Evolution, super hyped up, super popular, but then maybe a few weeks after release, they've gone down maybe almost $100 a booster box. I would then agree much more. And then maybe Phantasmal Flames. Maybe we see the listing right now is at $330 for a booster box. Maybe that drops to $250. If we see more modern, more very newly released sets start to drop significantly in price, it would be more valid to talk about this crash or correction coming. But we only see some pockets of some stuff going down. Destin Rivals, okay, why is that happening? It got bought out. People listed more because to take advantage of profits. And then we recently got, I guess, the Pokemon Center drop. That's been dropping. Pretty much everything else, I guess other than maybe some old stuff that's maybe starting to maybe drop a little bit. You look at Sword and Shield, I mean, prices have pretty much wherever they dropped after running up like a few months ago, they're pretty much around the same price. But Scarlet and Violet, if you really look, because I looked at every single booster box in the Scarlet and Violet era, if you look at the past month, most things have gone up slightly or been stagnant. Literally, that's how it's been. But like I said, there's a few instances where things have dropped a little bit. Destin Rivals dropped because, the buyout and stuff. And even the Surging Sparks here dropped like $20. That's not even 10% drop. I think some people are overreacting. But like I said, there will be a point where, yes, a crash, or not, I keep saying crash, a correction will happen. There will be that point. But right now, I don't see it happening. I don't think maybe in the next month we're going to skyrocket, but I think more towards the end of the year, once we get into maybe very close to the holiday season, maybe late November, early December, around that time, I think we're going to see the market move up a little bit more. But then after that point, maybe things will change. But at least what I see also in the near term for the near future, Phantasmal Flames, that will also be another indication what's going to happen with the market in the near future. I just don't see how, with everything that's going on right now, this is an indication that we're in the start of a correction. I think we need to see a lot more. We need to see a lot more downturn. We need to see a lot more of the newer sets see major price drops, see major demand drops, but we just haven't seen that. Mega Evolution booster boxes being a couple weeks old, still above $300. I don't think we can even start talking about a correction because I think the biggest indication will be for new release sets if they see major price drops, major demand drops. Because you got to think about it. The majority of the market is collecting all the new stuff right now. They're not collecting Sun and Moon or Sword and Shield. Most collectors aren't. A lot of the people are just buying this, the brand new sets. And once we see the brand new sets start to really fall off, that's when we can really say, okay, the big demand, the major demand in the space, which is for the new stuff, if that's falling off, then maybe we can start to talk. But as for now, I feel like some people are overreacting. It's literally just been a few weeks where I've literally seen a lot more people start talking about this crash. It happens every single time we see sudden stagnation, unless we have more information or more data pointing to a correction or whatever. I don't think it's worth talking about. I know more people will make videos talking about this crash, but I don't see it yet. I know we're in a weird spot. Things aren't crazy. It's you don't. There's not this feeling of super. Like, oh, everything's just skyrocketing. We're not in that time right now. But you got to understand, we were just in that time not too long ago, and we're just in that period in between where things are just starting to slow down a little bit. So just want to make this video because I know so many people are talking about this, and I just want to give my takes, and you guys can let me know, do you really think this is the beginning of a crash? I don't think so at all. I think a lot of people just are a little bit, I guess, I don't know, used to seeing too much where they see stagnation or things not skyrocketing and automatically they think something's wrong. But that's all I want to say in this video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.